The construction side of tomorrow. Well, it turns out it's already here. In this explainer, we're going to dive into the robotic revolution that's totally reshaping the industry and what it really means for forward-thinking companies like Alpha Constructions.
For decades, when you think of construction, you think of long hours and really tough manual labor. But a huge shift is happening right now. It's called Construction 4.0, and it's all about bringing smart, automated technology right onto the job site. So, this brings up a massive question for the entire industry, doesn't it? Are robots really the key to building faster, safer, and, well, just better? Okay, let's dig in and find out. All right, first up, the robotic revolution. Before we see these things in action, let's get a really clear idea of the tech that's making all of this possible. Now, when we talk about robotics, we're not just talking about a simple machine doing the same thing over and over. No way. This is about machines that can actually see their environment with sensors, notice when something's not quite right, and then adapt to solve the problem on their own, kind of like a master craftsman would. Okay, so that's the theory. But what does this actually look like out in the real world, on a job site? What can these robots really do? Well, for starters, they can handle the really dangerous stuff, like demolition. This is a huge deal because it means you can send in a robot to do the risky work and keep your people safely out of harm's way. And then there's the incredible precision they bring. For a task like welding, a robot can perform a perfect, flawless weld every single time. That means higher quality and a much more reliable final structure. And get this, they can even tackle traditional jobs like laying bricks, but with a speed and endurance that's just, well, it's practically superhuman. And that actually brings us to a really fascinating case study. Let's talk about Sam, the bricklayer. This is just a perfect real-world example of how insanely efficient this technology can be. So this is the SAM 100, which stands for Semi-Automated Mason. And that word semi is really important here. See, it doesn't replace the human mason, it works with them. It's like a superpowered partner, creating this powerful human-robot team that just blows productivity out of the water. And the impact on output is just staggering. An experienced human mason working hard can lay maybe 300 to 500 bricks a day. Sam, it can lay up to 3,000. And listen to this quote from a real project. A job that was supposed to take 10 weeks, they brought in 4 of these SAM units and got it done in just 1 week. I mean, think about that. That's not just working a little faster. That's fundamentally rewriting the project timeline. But it's not all straightforward. And this brings us to that crucial balance of promise versus peril. Because like any huge innovation, you've got to look at both sides of the coin. On one side, the promise is crystal clear. Massive gains in productivity and much better safety. But the perils are real too. We're talking about a pretty significant upfront investment to buy these machines. And of course, there's the very valid concern about how this tech will affect the jobs of the current workforce. Which, brings us to a super critical point. Building a future-ready team. Because as the technology evolves, so do the skills of the people who have to work with it. To really thrive in this new world, workers are going to need a new mix of skills. We're talking about practical computing skills to operate the tech, a little bit of computer science know-how to understand how it thinks, and this one's huge, soft skills like critical thinking and collaboration to manage these complex automated projects. Let's take machine learning, for example. It sounds really complex, but the idea is pretty simple. It lets a robot learn from experience. It can analyze data right from the job site and actually get smarter and more efficient over time, all without a human having to constantly reprogram it for every little change. So here's the bottom line. This robotic revolution, it's not some far-off future fantasy. It is happening right now. The technology is here. The real question for leaders at a company like Alpha Constructions isn't if you'll adopt, but how you're going to prepare your team to build the world of tomorrow.